this building here, the old theater, as you can see, 1946. That's when they built this old theater. And before, this used to be the main road to the entrance of the town. This road was the main road here. Not the one you came in. The cabinet one is not the one. And I know you have read Charla's book, but anyway, I want to tell you, when Charla adopted this Zapotec kid, when she went back to Tijuana to help the kids in the dumps or the other orphanage, when she saw the faces of those kids, now she felt in her heart that God was reminding her of the one she had back home. Because now the faces were so familiar to her in the face of her little one. So she felt in her heart that she should do something beyond the borders, come down to Baja. And like all we women, she came with this great idea to get her husband coming here. It was going to be Chuck's birthday, so he said, "Sweetie, it's going to be your birthday. You want to go down Baja to celebrate? Like, let's take a trip down Baja." And Chuck, he's a very noble and gentleman. I mean, he's Charla's help, because she's always on the go and he's so peaceful all the time. And he said, "Yeah, I will go with you." And back that time, I think only the road was up to Santo Tomas. The rest of the road was just no road at all. Just rocks and sand and everything. So they started driving down here, and it was getting dark and everything. And then Charla says in her book, nobody was talking to her after a while. And then Chuck kind of joked with her, saying, "You know what, Charla, have you heard about the Baja 1000 that goes down in Baja? I have heard that the racers die in these races and nobody even finds the bones here. So you took us here to die." But anyways, God brought them to this place right at the entrance of this town, and a man was there. And they kind of, with their little Spanish, he's non-English, they told him that they were running out of gas, and she told him about this place that she read, and he knew where to take him, so he only said, "I'm going to take you down here." It was going to be around, I think, 1 o'clock in the morning. And when they got here, a lady came out from this big building. She was like a caretaker here for kids that live in the dumps too. She only had, where they're tearing up the old motel, they're building up new housing. That used to be a motel for this place. So this lady came out, asking what the trouble was, but she couldn't help them get gas or nothing. So she just told them that they could come here and stay over the night, and in the morning she will help them. So they did, and that night Charla wasn't at ease, so she got up and started walking around. She went to the other side, and that's when she heard the kids' laughter. And she said, "What? Right now there's no kids here." And she said, "Why am I hearing kids' laughter?" And like they're playing. And then when she saw the vision of the grain fields, like the wind was going like this in the grain field, and that's when the verse came to her heart about that the harvest was ready. It was ready to get pulled. And then she said, "Well, God, do you want this to be turned as an orphanage to help these kids?" And she took it to heart. She went back home, and to her friends back that time, that was the first board members, that are still the same group that prays every Friday faithfully. Some of them have passed away, but they always get on Friday to pray for the ministry and for the other orphanages all around. And she told them about that idea of what God did and showed her the vision. And they needed back that time $15,000 to buy this place. Because this place back in the 40s, it used to be like a playground for the Hollywood movie stars and producers. They used this area to come and play cowboys and Indians. And there, I don't know if you can see it, but back in those hills over there, there are letters in white, HR. That was used to be the Hamilton Ranch, where this guy came with all these big movie stars from that time and Hollywood producers, and they played cowboys and Indians. This was their little Disneyland thing here. It was cheaper for them. So, but the person who built this, he said, well, I'm going to make a big profit. I'm going to turn this to a casino, and the hotel over there used to be a Waffle House. But I think recession came. He couldn't earn that much, so he said, you know what, I'm closing down. I only want to get back what I invested in building this place, and that's it. He didn't care about earning more money. So the group of Charla prayed about it, and God provided the money. And when Charla went to Ensenada to this lawyer's house to buy the property, this guy, Gomez, already had bought the property. And Charla said, oh, God, you provided the money. I'm here, but this guy just bought the property. And he had bought it for $20,000, so that was a little bit more of what she was going to get. She was outside the office all discouraged about it, and this man came out and said, what is troubling you? And honestly, in my heart, I think that's the moment when God performed the miracle in Charla. Not here seeing the vision. Because if Charla would have that attitude, what's to you? I don't know you, why should I tell you what's going on? If Charla would have that attitude, we wouldn't be here today. But I know that she sensed something in this person that the Holy Spirit made her talk to that person. And we women, we like details. I think she took about 2 hours telling this guy what was going on. And this guy really patiently listened to her. But I can imagine that day really, because sometimes we have that kind of attitude. Sometimes people send, God sends people because we're in distress or we're going through hard times, and they ask you nicely, did something bother you? Oh no, I'm fine. God is with me. And we don't see if God is going to perform a miracle throughout that person. I don't mean that every person that comes to you asking you what's troubling you, you're going to open up. But really, when the Holy Spirit is there, you can send something in that person. And I know that Charla, that they sent that the guy was going to do something. So she spoke out her heart. That guy listened to her. He went into the office and he came out and said, you know what? Go and buy the property right now. And she said, what? Yeah, he said, you know what? Hearing you out, you have told me you're going to do something that is going to impact generations. And I was just going to turn into a hunting lodge. And that was it. But hearing you, I know that you're going to do a better thing for people. Eventually, that man became Charla's right hand, helped her out with all the paperwork, helped her out to go to Mexico to buy this place. Because, you know, buying a place here, most if you're a foreigner, is not that easy. So, and he became a Christian, thank God. So, I thank God for Charla's obedience that day, that she didn't have that attitude that, what's to you? I don't know you. I'm walking away. She stayed there and she talked about it. So that's why we're here today, for that miracle that took that day, that place right there. Okay? All right, so let's go now.